If you're a big swim team and you like to order a lot of gear, maybe you ought to check out Swim Outlet Team Division for these reasons. Swim teams receive a 10% discount on bulk orders. Swim teams or organizations get an 8% commission on referred sales. You'll also like their customization services, which is affordable and available at all times during the year for all team gear. With over 50,000 items in stock, you can get most anything you want. Swim Outlet Team Division. You need to try it out. You'll be glad you did.
This is the Morning Swim Show for Wednesday, April 24th, 2013. I'm your host, Jeff Cummings. Today we're wrapping up our series of interviews featuring representatives from each of the three cities looking to host the 2016 U.S. Olympic Swimming Trials. Earlier we talked to people from Omaha and St. Louis, and joining us shortly in the Finis Monitor will be George Block and Russ Bookbinder. Block's name will be familiar to many in the swimming community. He was a longtime coach for the Alamo Area Aquatic Association in San Antonio and a former vice president of USA Swimming. Bookbinder is the president of San Antonio Sports and comes from the NBA, working for many years with the San Antonio Spurs. And George Block and Russ Bookbinder join us now in the Finis Monitor from San Antonio. Guys, it's great to see you today. How are you?
We're doing great. Thanks for inviting us, Jeff. This is fun.
Good. So, tell me, Russ, when did the idea to throw San Antonio's name in the hat start?
Well, we bid in the first time back when Omaha bid for the very first time. So we've been bidding on this ever since we saw Long Beach and USA Swimming wanted to take it indoors. We've been at it. So this is the first time I guess we've made the finalist list.
So what do you think was the key this time in getting you guys this far?
I think this was the first time that USA Swimming was comfortable in being in a 20,000 seat venue. It was, 10,000 in Long Beach and 14 in Omaha. They filled it twice. I think they're ready to take the next step. At least it looks that way to us, with both us and St. Louis still in the mix.
And so, with this being something that has been ongoing for 8 years, how has the evolution of the bid to host Olympic trials come about?
The bid process is very similar. I think USA Swimming has refined it a little bit, but it's been pretty similar each time. I think we've gotten better at bidding, and I think USA Swimming is more comfortable with its product that they can fill 20,000 seats. We're extremely confident we can fill 21,800 seats, and I think it took a little bit while for USA Swimming to get comfortable. But as Chuck Wilkes has said, this is sort of a golden age of swimming. If you go out on the streets now and you ask people to name 3 Olympic swimmers, they can do it. If you say, okay, name 3 Olympic runners, they're stumped. And so I think this is a perfect time for us. We're in a sweet spot right now for swimming.
Now, Russ, as I said before, you were involved with the NBA. The San Antonio Spurs obviously attract a lot of people to their venues when they have their big basketball games. What is going to be the key, if San Antonio gets this bid, to get San Antonio heavily involved in the Olympic trials?
Well, we've already started that with an I'm In campaign, and we have over 12,000 emails that people have sent in that they'd like to have more information. So I understand the market. Our team at the Spurs for a long time has been involved in the community. So getting us involved in the community early and starting to promote these games early will get us to where we need to go by the time the events are here. It's a great community, a very loyal community, and if you invite them to be part of something, they usually join.
And you've got some great Olympic swimmers kind of to help you with this, Josh Davis and Jimmy Fegan. Tell me how much support they've kind of thrown into your desire to have this meet.
Well, Josh has been with us from the very beginning, so this is his third go-around with it. Jimmy's a newcomer to the scene, but a San Antonian, and then as a part of our bid team, Brendan Hansen has been very involved. And he's been actually our athlete rep on the bid team, focused on athlete experience, and has been a great contributor.
Yeah, speaking of that, with Brendan, I would imagine you've got a lot of support from the University of Texas swim team. They're probably really throwing their support to the fact that they can have the Olympic trials about 100 miles south of them.
I think both UT and A&M are thrilled at the opportunity to be here and having, Steve as an Olympic coach from A&M and Eddie, Olympic coach at UT. They're both real involved. We took Eddie's feedback real seriously. He really pounded in that they wanted a 10-foot deep pool. And we think that's one of the things we're going to do differently than the other cities, as we've proposed a full 3-meter depth facility to create the best possible experience for the athletes.
And by doing that, that potentially takes out a couple of rows, right? Because that means already you have to take out some rows in the Alamodome to fit the pool. But, if you're putting in an extra 2 feet, you probably have to take out an extra row or so?
Correct.
Okay, probably not too bad, though. I know the Alamodome is a big place. So
it's a big place, and it's a very flexible facility. And so we're going to be able to seat 21-8 for finals. We've checked sight lines all over the place, fabulous sight lines. It's going to be even more intimate than Omaha because the decks are going to be smaller. So I think we're going to have a great experience.
Very good.
One of the things done is put in temporary custom seating to replace the lower level dome seating that takes you right up to the swimming pool. So it's going to be very intimate for the fans.
So some people might actually get wet.
I think there's a good chance of it.
That may entice them a little bit. So give us a little bit more specifics on what you plan to do with the Alamodome to retrofit it to host this kind of a meet, which has never been done in that facility before.
Well, I think probably a lot of people saw Spurs play NBA championship series in the Dome and the NBA All-Star game. And so it'll look very similar to that. The pool will basically be where the basketball court is. But Mike Unger and the USA swimming team made a real strong point that the first thing they want to do is have the best possible experience for the swimmers. And so we went with a 10-foot deep pool right away. So there's 21,000 people. The swimmers will feel all 21,000. It'll be an exciting venue. And the warm-up pool is literally just steps away on the other side of a curtain behind the seating. So it's really easy, a straight shot from warm-up to the pool and out to the mix zone. It's from a swimmer's point of view, it's extremely convenient. We're almost doubling the amount of warm-up water space. I think 12 50-meter lanes and another 10 or 12 25-meter lanes. So lots of warm-up space for the coaches and athletes, and a very intimate and loud 1,000 people. So I think when we get 21,000 people 10 feet away from the best swimmers in the world, we're going to pick an incredible team for Rio.
What's the feeling like there at the San Antonio Sports Commission as we approach the announcement of the name of the city that's going to get the Olympic trials?
Absolute anxiety.
We really feel that from a fan standpoint, coming to San Antonio, everything is right here. The hotels, the facility, the river walk. It's compact. When we've had Final Fours here, that is the main event that fans bring back to us over and over. It's great to come to this city. It's a destination site, best tourism site in Texas. So we look forward to having people here.
Now, as you said, this is your third time trying to get this meet to be hosted in San Antonio.
Actually, the second, because Omaha didn't have to bid the second time. So
I see. Okay, so your second time.
The first round was Omaha, and now 8 years later, we're doing it again.
And besides the things that you mentioned, the smaller deck, the 10-foot pool, after seeing what Omaha has done these past 2 go-arounds, is there anything you said, that said about Omaha is that's good, but we could do better? Well,
I think, for one, our downtown. The beginning of the trials always conflicts with the College World Series, so the college ball teams and their fans always have the best hotels. And so the swimming community got pushed out into sort of remote Omaha. We won't have those kind of conflicts here. All the swimmers, all the coaches, all the teams, all the fan base can be in great hotels that are walking distance from the Dome. And afterwards, a nice, pleasant walk back to the River Walk for dinner afterwards. So we think our downtown, our proximity, and our walkability is something that's going to be a big improvement over Omaha. And I think also for what do the families and fans do when they're not at the pool? And San Antonio is a tourist town. There's lots to do. There's, theme parks, SeaWorld and Fiesta Texas. There's all the culture of the missions, and there's the ambiance and fun of the Riverwalk. So we think it's going to be a great friends and family experience as well. And we know that USA Swimming has been working quite hard for the last decade in diversity and really not making much measurable headway. And we think as far as being a gateway to Hispanic marketing and opening up swimming to the Hispanic community, that can be done through San Antonio. We know how to do that. We know how to reach that community. We are that community. And so I think we can change US Swimming that way. So our pitch to USA Swimming is, if you're ready to change, if you're ready to take the attendance to another level, if you're ready to actually have kids swim in a real Olympic pool, if you're ready to take it to a new level of income and a new level of media exposure, bring it to San Antonio. If you want to stay with what you're comfortable with, stay where you are. But if you're going to be comfortable being uncomfortable and taking this great platform that you've built over the last 8 years and making it even better, bring it to San Antonio.
Yeah, it's very interesting what you said about the Hispanic community there. I would imagine George, having been involved in the swimming community there in San Antonio for many years, that the Hispanic community is probably a very untapped market in terms of swimming, and I'm sure that this meet will probably bring about a little bit more exposure to them.
It's a very untapped market. We had a real telling story told when USA Swimming was down here. One of our Hispanic marketing gurus was saying that his parents told him never to go to a pool, they were dangerous. But his kids, one of them swam in college. And so the culture is ironically sort of an anti-swimming culture, and that needs to be changed, especially as the American community changes over the next few decades. That's a group that has to be invited to the party, both from an ethical point of view of water safety and then from a competitive equity of getting those folks on our teams.
Russ, not counting the professional teams and the events you put on for professional sports, how does putting on something like this, an event that's you said is going to bring 21,800 spectators, how does that compare to the other events you guys have been hosting there in San Antonio?
Well, Final Fours are the top of the food chain. In that one, we've done 3 men's Final Fours, 2 women's Final Fours. Tomorrow night, we're hosting a boxing match that'll draw 40,000 people to this facility. We just had 2 Texas Rangers baseball games played in a weekend, and a facility that they said would never host baseball. This facility is well used. The people, and it's very, very versatile. People in this town love to have an event, love to have something to party about. And so this is something that we'll do and have experience doing.
Wow, 40,000 people at a boxing event. I thought 21,000 for a swim meet was huge, but it looks like swimming's got some work to do.
Yeah, and one other thing is when we hosted the Olympic Festival, we still hold the U.S. record for the largest ice skating viewership in a facility, and that record still holds.
And that's 25,000.
Right.
Wow. Well, that's very, very impressive, and I'm sure you guys will probably even, maybe if you guys could keep this bid, maybe we will see 40,000 people watching a swim meet, which is unheralded, but would be great.
If we could have a 7-year run the way Omaha did, that we could get up into those kind of numbers.
Wow, that would be fantastic. Before we go, guys, I want to give you a chance to make your pitch to the public about why San Antonio would be the best city to have the Olympic trials.
You want to go, Russ?
Well, if you want to have a good time in the downtime, this is the place to be. People who have attended Final Fours will hear from coaches, athletes, administrators. This is their favorite spot to come to as far as an event. So from a fan perspective, you're going to get great sight lines, an exciting venue, and you'll be able to access your hotels, the Riverwalk, and all the entertainment by foot.
And I think from a coach and swimmer perspective, which is probably a huge chunk of your audience, Jeff, is coaches, swimmers, and their families, this is a place where your swimmer is going to be able to perform their best. We have taken every strategy we could think of and that Brendan brought to the table to separate coaches and athletes from spectators, coming in at two separate ends of the building. Nice flow from the entrance for the athletes to the locker room, to the warm-up area, to the pool. It's literally steps away. It is a 10-foot pool. It is an intimate crowd. It's a big venue, fresh air. This is a place where swimmers will do their best, and we will pick our best team for Rio. Well,
that is a very convincing pitch, guys. I'm not part of USA Swimming, and I've heard all three pitches, and I think it's just as good. And I hope you guys are going to be really satisfied with whatever the outcome is. And if you don't get it, I'm sure you guys will be in the running again for 2020.
Well, everybody involved in this, it's been a team effort. Our Convention and Visitors Bureau, the city, the Alamodome, USA Swimming has been great to work with. So we are just, we're thrilled. Whatever happens, we know we've given it our best shot.
And we know how much work USA Swimming has put in with us, and the fact that they started with 24 cities and then 6 finalists and now down to 3, that we know they're still doing that much work with 3 other cities. Those guys have been working really hard.
Right. Well, George and Russ, thank you so much for joining us, and good luck on announcement day.
Jeff, thanks for the invitation.
Thank you so much.
All right. So that was George Block and Russ Bookbinder joining us today on the Morning Swim Show. USA Swimming is expected to announce the name of the city that will host the 2016 Olympic Trials on Saturday. And like the folks in Omaha, St. Louis, and San Antonio, we at Swimming World are anxious for the big announcement as well. Our thanks to the representatives from the 3 candidate cities for joining me on the Morning Swim Show. And thanks to you for watching. I'm Jeff Cummings. We'll see you next time.